There we go. It's just like that. It's just that easy.
Nice hotel room. Now, normally what I do is I like to critique Jason's tidiness and cleanliness of his hotel room, and he's really put on a show for you this morning, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is a treat. This is a
No
special
way.
treat.
No way you're clean like that.
This is very clean.
What is this, vitamins over there?
Yeah, a little bit of vitamins
What
for
do
the
you
day.
take?
There's some what do I take? Vitamin D?
You don't take some bullshit. You don't take some bullshit for the hair grow, right?
No. That's only him, ironically.
I think he's past that, man. I think
There's no saving what I have.
I've seen some bald people who are still in the fight, but yeah, it's done.
Mate, I've got a guy, so if you ever get any trouble, just let me know. Come out to
What is
Malta.
the guy? Malta? Oh,
yeah,
Malta is nice.
he trained in Turkey.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Yeah, he's got a
So you know he's good.
yeah.
They got the experience from home. Yeah.
And it was pretty cheap. Wasn't that expensive. I hear people paying tens of thousands.
But I wonder if you do it in, like, so you would agree with me, like, education in Germany would
We're
be better
starting
than
edgy already. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Then, like, let's say Malta, right?
I would look, mate. I don't even go to the fucking doctors in
Yeah.
Malta, so yeah.
So, but in Malta, those people have more experience because they do it on a daily basis, like those surgery. And I don't know if Germany.
This guy's just a bit of a specialist. So he went to Turkey to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And he is the only doctor doing it on that. Well, he's pretty
In
much
Malta?
yeah.
Okay.
And he takes a lot of pride in his work. The guy even knew Counter-Strike. He was
okay.
Does Fallen need a hair
but
transplant? I can do his.
But I think also
I think he's fine.
I think also education in Turkey is quite high,
Yeah.
like compared to Malta. I don't know.
Well, I think Malta is like I've just given Malta a bad rap there, even though I live there. The problem I have is because I used to be a plumber. I walk around and I see.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, once upon a time.
Okay.
I walk around and I see what the building standards look like, and I'm like, mate, if their building standards are like this, what could their healthcare standards be like? But I think overall it has pretty good healthcare.
Yeah.
Because it's still
People
in the
live
EU
there,
and
so,
shit. Yeah, it has to have a certain level of stuff. So and there's a lot of British people there, and you know how those fuckers complain, mate. So it has to be
I
good.
live in Cyprus, so there are also loads of British people, but they
So you got this.
you're
We do a
surrounded.
technical stop in your country
You do what?
where we fly. When I fly to like Dubai or whatever.
Yeah, you go Larnaca. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Malta via Dubai. Yeah, I remember this flight. Yeah.
It's not a bad spot.
Come say hello, mate.
I will next time I
Once
get
in
off
a-
the plane. I've never been to Cyprus. Is it nice there?
They're quite nice in the summer. It's like Malta.
Okay.
I feel like.
Yeah.
There for the
Well,
sun.
slightly bigger, slightly better,
Yeah.
more diverse.
Actually, there is
Yeah.
way more things to do, but actually, fuck Malta, mate. The thing is, I remember you leave the hotel. Not fuck, but. It's just
No, you
we've
can
been there
fuck
so
Malta,
many
yeah.
times on EPL that
Yeah.
you just like we do team walks every morning and you have to go left or right.
Yep.
And I feel like in Sweden you have more diversity. In any country, like you can go left, right, straight, backward. In Malta you have nothing.
Small place.
Yeah, very
That's
small.
poetic, actually. You've actually just stumbled into something very deep and profound there.
Yeah, but not Malta, just Saint Julian I don't like because Valletta is fucking beautiful.
We tell, like, when I say we, I mean, like me, Henry and Alex, like, when people come to Malta, like, oh, where should we go? Like, don't go to St. Julius. Like, well, it's not
Yeah.
St. Julius. Don't go to
It's so chaotic.
Pastoral. Don't go there.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Yeah.
not a fun place to
Config didn't listen.
go. Config gets kicked downstairs, you know.
Twice.
Yeah. Things happen out there. And then you would have seen, like, it's like loud music, bright lights.
Yeah, people try to
moldy
rob your
hotel
wallet.
rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's a good place. We're not there anymore, though. We are in Sweden.
I know.
When I was asking yesterday your manager if you can come do this, she said you're a late riser. She didn't expect you to be up this early.
the thing is I have something to do, so I will wake up. So, but I have a friend who always watches the Talking Counter. He really likes like he watches every episode, and he always said like you have to go there. You have to go there. It's so nice there. Like it's proper. Like you ask good questions, stuff like this. So back, I don't remember Katowice. I think it was. You asked me, and I was like insta on it. But here I was thinking like, yeah, fuck it. You just wake up. I just go to sleep 2 hours earlier and can do that.
But you guys were winning too much, and you always had a game to play, and you
Oh
didn't
my
have
God,
the time.
Katowice, mate.
Which is same here, I guess, but now you have more
Yeah,
days off.
More days off, yeah,
so
true.
you had some time.
But that's Blue Phoenix you're talking about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, you told us last time.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah. No, I just remember.
Okay.
Shout out
So
Blue
what-
Phoenix,
yeah.
who was at Pro League one time with NIP.
Yeah.
Rising
Oh my-
from the ashes, if I recall
Yeah,
correctly.
we did do
Yeah.
that bit a
And,
lot. We did do
We
that.
did that quite a bit.
So he's definitely going, about to have an amazing career, as does everyone once they leave NIP. you know?
Or anyone from Israel at the moment in Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
besides
yeah.
anarchists. Everyone else is good, apparently.
Well, that's so unlucky for him. Like, it's actually really good and really nice. And it's so... I don't know what went wrong.
Ended up on too many shit orgs.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think also because he's, I think for some reason people don't like that much aggressive operators or really aggressive.
He's too aggressive.
And he's really aggressive. I think this is something that people are saying like he's too crazy. They think he's stupid, but I don't know. I like how he plays.
You'd rather have an aggressive operator than a passive one?
I'd like to have someone who can initiate something.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if he's like necessarily like a really aggressive, but sometimes there is an operator who's like, I'm gonna go ticket, but you guys can go 4 middle on Mirage per se. Like and he changes the whole how the whole maps look, but he's not really aggressive. But he's very in the game.
You ever play FPL with Shiro?
Oh no.
I was wondering how that experience would be like.
Is it the same? I guess he might be, but I don't think he speaks English. I don't think he I remember they invited him to FPL 2020. He didn't take it because he didn't speak English.
Really?
Yeah.
I reckon he pretends that his English is worse than it is.
Yeah.
I did lobby with him.
Yeah.
He can. I think he's in that mode where like he's not really comfortable speaking English.
Yeah.
Like he can, but he doesn't want to do it.
It's like
so
a
he just
confidence
holds
thing.
back.
You just brought up like because Jason had to do the lobby with Spirit, which it's tough.
Quite tough, yeah.
Because fucking
Magix is the translator.
Zontix just him and you are polar opposite human beings.
Yeah.
He's sitting there like, I hate my life. I don't want to be here. Fuck everybody.
I don't want this guy talking to me.
Yeah,
I don't want him here.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Why am I even playing Counter-Strike?
Why am I on this earth for? What is the purpose of life?
And you're bouncing off the walls. And Jason goes, are you excited to be here for ESL Pro League? And he just looks at Jason like, you fucking idiot. What kind of question is that?
We were all thinking it though.
I'm like, bro, I know you don't want to answer these questions, so let me give you a softball and we can just take it somewhere and go somewhere. And it's like, why? And I'm like, great.
I would say don't give them softballs. I think challenge them.
No,
Like
this
ask them
was
some fucked up questions.
Like what? What's an example?
Like
which one of your teammates is most likely to fuck one of your other teammates' girlfriends?
I think that's hilarious. But I think you wouldn't know what you mean. Does he speak good English, Zontix?
Zontix does the
Zontix does.
best with Magic. So
Shiro responded to me a little bit. Magix obviously can, but I try and avoid Magic since he does everything. Donk dabbles. Chopper's the one who
Hey, you need
just
to
kinda
come up
like,
to him and be like, "Yo, how the fuck Vitality fucked you in the in Katowice?" No, I wouldn't answer that. Something about his personal life. Oh, 4 donks or 4 Zywoos in the team?
I tried to ask about his anime mousepad.
Is anime
Choppers?
mousepad?
Yeah.
He has one as well?
Yeah, he didn't. Apparently, it's not an anime. It's just he just liked the design.
Well, it is anime.
Yeah,
It is.
that's what Donk told me. Chopper just said something in Russian, and Donk translated it. I don't even know if that's what he said.
But I'm with you, flameZ, on this one, right? Because when people do it, everyone dreads doing stuff with Spirit and everything, and that's their plan. That's why they do it. So you leave them alone, right?
Yeah.
I say we double down.
Yeah.
Like you have that slot, and you have
them
to spend time doing it.
double-
I'm gonna talk to you for an hour. I don't care. I'm gonna ask you about what was your favorite subject in school.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna
Fuck it.
have to do this. So might as well make it good. That's how you need to approach it. This way, if they know it's just and you're gonna lose faith, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck these guys or whatever. Well, thanks for
You just give up and
questions,
start
and then
answering.
you have to be persistent.
But I think it's also part of our job to do media. Like it's like obviously it's nice to play Counter-Strike, and that's what we're here for mainly. But
Yeah.
I mean, if ESL doesn't do media, nothing. There is no like flow, I guess, of money somewhere, and so I think people should be a little bit like involved in this. Like it makes sense.
Not every player's gonna be that way. It's fine at the end of the day. It's not the biggest deal.
But I
in the
think it's
world.
also like someone like Brocky is you see he doesn't want to be in the media, but he still has funny content pieces. So I think you have to go like lean that way. That if you don't want to do content, just give like a dead interview, but make it seem like you're not, like he doesn't hate you.
Yeah, well, let's just not make it so obvious. Like try and hide it a little bit.
To be fair,
do me a favor. I'm just here doing my job.
I think you did a good job because he blocked you, and then you were like, well, it's this and it's that, and you can play against fight. I thought you did a good job. Like the way you handled it would have been better than how some other people would have handled it. So I appreciate it, Jason.
I did my
think you
best.
did well.
For some people, the stick works better than the carrot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What are you doing with your jaw, mate? Are you mewing? Like, what's going on here?
What the fuck?
I've never looked at you side on like this.
Meowing.
Got a sharp
Before.
jawline.
You've got a sharp jawline.
Ah yeah?
Yeah.
I think I lost some weight a bit in the recent 2 weeks. I had the two tooth implants. So
Implants.
Two tooth implants, yeah. Like
Really? Okay.
they put teeth inside my gum.
Okay.
Like sew. They how do you call it? The thing you
They're veneers, right?
Screw.
screw. Yeah, they
Dude,
screw.
did they put you under for that? Were you asleep?
No, just local anesthesia.
That
And-
feels like a go under kind of operation. to be
Yeah,
honest
no,
with
I
you.
think it's pretty common.
I think, yeah,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, and then I had 1 week that I was eating only soft food. So I made holy shit, like mashed potato, like.
Well, these guys know about that with the babies, man.
Yeah, I hate this kind of food. And then I found the spaghetti bolognese somewhere in my place, and I just kept eating spaghetti bolognese all the days, and then I went back home for a vacation, 4 days, and then 7 days, and then I had a food poisoning.
Oh.
And then I was
Sweet
like,
Jesus.
and then I was like, yeah, I didn't eat for like 4 days, so I think I lost like maybe 2-3 kilograms.
Oh, well, yeah, I was going to say, you don't have much weight to lose anyway, but, if at all. So the fact you're losing some weight, I was like, what is he doing here for? Because we spoke to you on the couch at one point at one of the events regarding you lifting some weights. So was it the award show?
Yeah,
I saw on your
it was
Instagram.
the award show, yeah.
And you were back in the gym the other day too. So that's in Cyprus.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's in Cyprus, but no, actually I stayed in Serbia, so that was in Serbia.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, I think it also helped me a bit to gain more confidence, and CS is full of confidence. So I think it's...
Well, I don't think you've ever lacked confidence.
Nah, but in the game, I'm quite different. So in the game, I'm quite like... it's not about like... I wouldn't say it's like... it is confidence, but it relates to like courage. So you'd play like a semi-final, a quarter-final, I'm fine. But when you play like a final and I'm an aggressive player, sometimes I have like this... like my brain wants me to do something, I have to do that. If I'm not doing that, I'm like, it's hard for me to keep going the next round.
Okay.
And that's something that will not happen due to courage if I don't do that. Like I'll be like, I don't want to take responsibility if the play that goes wrong and stuff like this. And I think when you start going to the gym and you start like, but I took it really serious, like my so I have like a personal trainer, and I told him my goal is to be strong and flexible. Like my body, I want it to be flexible, and he gave me like 20-minute stretches, like an application on the phone that you basically do 20 minutes and you do stretch. And actually quite nice in Vitality. We do a stretch club every day, so not everybody, but whoever wants to come can jump in and we do stretches. And I take this as meditation sort of. So it's like, you work a lot on the focus and just like taking the stress away from your life. And I think this is something that is valuable, and also lifting weights. I mean,
he says that, and I immediately think of that Michael Jackson. He said Michael Jackson.
Bruce
it's in my
Lee?
head.
Michael
It's in my
Jackson.
head. Michael Jordan from the Bulls thing that was on fucking Netflix.
Last Dance.
The Last Dance?
Yeah, and they got bullied by that team, and then they all
Pistons.
go. Yeah, that's the one. Then they all go in the gym for the off season, and they come out and they're all like put on heaps of muscle and shit. Like you saying that I never thought I'd hear an answer like
rolling
that.
back into a Katowice stage, bulked up, just ripped.
I never thought I would hear that about, like, it's true though,
Yeah.
in terms of, once you're physically more confident, the way that you walk around in the world, it's not that you're like trying to rip people's heads off and stuff. You're just more confident in your skin.
But also, you're also like a lot more disciplined in just doing what you know. Like I had food poisoning, and my trainer came to Cyprus to me, and day after, I'm still feeling quite off. He comes and we walk out, and I was like, probably a bad idea, but it's like then you walk out and you feel good about it.
Yeah,
You're like, even doing the bad stuff while you're not feeling that well can make you feel so good. So
That's why people say, you start going to the gym for the gains, but you stay for the mental health, right?
Yeah.
Because it just
there's so many benefits.
it's does a lot for you. But it's interesting what you said about making plays, and sometimes that's like kind of what when we talk about game say, or playing not to lose instead of playing to win. But for you, it's probably also hard because you have zywoo on your team. You used to have Spinks, now you have Robs on your team. Apex is in positions that are like has a lot of playmaking, and so sometimes you just can't even get to the point where you can go for a play. Does that also happen sometimes?
I feel like I feel like it's not a good excuse when you're like playing such a high level, because then someone will tell you like, even like you can tell me I want to come. Let's say it's a nuke. You can come outside, mate, and. But I think you're right that sometimes you'd be like quite clueless because your position has way less plays than different positions on the map. But I do think that in this case you just like in some sense ask for help. I think you said like something about having zywoo and everything. So it's true they kill a lot, but they're also very flexible, very humble. So if you tell zywoo, please come help, he will come help. He wouldn't be like no. And if he has something in his brain, you just let him do it because he's probably feeling it.
Yeah.
And but I do think it's true sometimes, but I would say it's also something like you can work on as like, if I feel bad and I'm not gonna go for the plays, and sometimes you have like a you're not individually shooting well, but you have opportunities, and then you shouldn't go for plays because it's like, it might be a good play, but you might like just whiff. But I think that's where and in Vitality, that's where we try to like play off the team. And then if we see that it goes well and people are shooting well, then we can enjoy a bit, solo push and do whatever you want, like for a bit.
You're talking a lot about confidence and courage, like in the game. What's it? How do you feel like it's helped you when you have a bad game, like bouncing back in a game, like having a really bad half?
I think that's the thing that is like, even when you have a bad half, you still know that you're still disciplined to your game. You still know that game works out for you. So you stick with this game. You don't start like changing up. And I think the main thing that helps is we have something that we call eyes in the skies
I've heard you guys say that a lot, actually. Yeah.
So when you're dead, you need to talk. And we force people to do that. Like we really work on it. And I think that's something that I stepped up a lot in Vitality because I'm the entry fragger, so I die, and most of the times I'm dead, and I can
calm for everyone.
Yes, just help people. And I think this is something that you get, like, and in CS, you all know how it is, even in Face It, like you can be 1-10, you do double kill against Eco and you're fine, like for the rest of the half. Yeah. And I think this is something that also works out if you win a round by being dead, but you tell them like a really good idea, or you just help them. You just
and it keeps you engaged in the game too. It's not like you're sitting there dead for a minute, just like
thinking about your 1 in 10. They came to my site again.
You have no time to think, and I think this is something very valuable. Like you just focus on it, and sometimes like they compliment you, and you feel like you got a double kill, you know. And so I think this is something that really, like, when I see that my game doesn't go as well. Yesterday we played the mouse sports. I was 3-9 on the T-half, but I was fucking happy because I had so many opportunities. Like I think at some point you also realize that you had opportunities and you did good. You didn't play bad, you just didn't shoot that well, and that can happen. And sometimes you fucked up. Yeah. And that's where the games you don't want to go to, but they're gonna happen.
I guess that'd be a difference between like lower level Counter-Strike and professional Counter-Strike, is at some level, at the level of game you guys play at, it's like, just be happy that you put yourself in a position to have the opportunity for the kill. Like, you obviously want the kill and you'll be disappointed if you don't get it, but putting yourself in a position to have the exact fight you want is an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
I was thinking, right? So I was telling you before we started that I had a bad night of facing last night. I had to play until I had won a game before I went to bed.
Why was that, Chad?
It's just a tough night. It was a tough night at the office. I had to keep playing until I won a game. But it's not about the keep playing until I won a game. It's about then not being able to sleep for the 4 hours after. I couldn't sleep. I was just
shit,
dude. Because
you're running back through all the punch.
Passionate. Oh my god.
Because people go, oh, do you miss playing professional Counter-Strike? It's like, well, I don't really miss like being in the prac room for like 8 hours a day and all that shit, but I miss the feeling of competing. So even like losing a pug, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I like, that's we all have that vibe. But it got me thinking, is there one match that stands out to you that you lost that like kept you up all night, that you couldn't stop thinking about, like, fuck, man, I shouldn't have done this, or if I just done that, or if I got this one kill?
Or 2 years later, I missed that footstep. I ignored the footstep.
I think I will always have. We were in Lisbon. We played against Navi in OG 2022.
Okay.
And I full choked that. It was my first stage game. And I remember waking up in the morning and I don't have appetite. And I remember going back when I was a kid. Whenever I have to do the first thing in my life, like whenever it's the first time of something, I'm full stress, anxiety. I don't want to eat any food. Like, I can't eat any food. And then we come up on stage. I don't have energy. And I remember like it was like quite a close game. I remember Neofrag was like, even, wow, guys, we can win that. Like, we won a map or something of them. And it was Navi with SDY, but it was still like, they won this tournament. So, and we beat them this tournament in the group stage. And I remember like, oh my God, I can't focus. And I'm not even thinking about the stage or the crowd. I'm just like, my eyes are not focused on the screen. They're somewhere else, and I can't focus. Like, I'm dying and I can't focus on nothing. And this is where I was like, mate, what the fuck? Like, this game is like, maybe I'm not fit for that kind of stage game.
Shit, okay.
Yeah, I took it like really bad. I probably slept 2 hours after, but but also like, it's very tiring, those kind of games. Like, like you and especially when you eat yourself after, like when you're thinking like negative thoughts, I just wanted to go sleep and like fuck that night. Yeah. So
I think also you were what, 18 at the time?
19, 18.
Yeah. So it's, you know, kind of understandable for the first experience of playing on a stage or just like that. I don't think it's too shocking. I think that's something that a lot of players.
Well, that's what we talk about, right? Like that's what we talk about, the pressure. We talk about all those things, and now you've won a Cologne and Katowice.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, I was
while playing well.
Yeah. The thing is, when in 2022, in the end we played Abu Dhabi or some Dubai. I don't remember which one. Blast the World Final.
It was Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Yes, and we played against Liquid, and we lost to Liquid, and I also played bad. But then I was very motivated to find what I can do to improve the stage games. So I went and I was I went on my drive on my docs and I wrote like it's all in Hebrew sadly, so I can't share. I would have showed you. We can translate, but it's just like, how am I gonna treat this player break differently than other ones in order to become better on stage? And I was like, you know, I will watch YouTube videos, and I was there is this guy, I'm sure you know, Jordan Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, every video is on YouTube, I would have watched it. And then I started buying some books, and then I didn't read them for a while, and then I was like, okay, I will read 1 minute a day. And then you start getting involved. And I remember that I was really sad in OG because for 6 months I was grinding like myself, like being a better version of myself, but we never had players to play on stage on. So that was fucking hell. And then I joined Vitality. First stage we play on Cologne. I was like, oh my God, this is a big one.
I've been ready for this for months.
Yeah, but I was also like, in Vitality, I think the difference maker was just talking about the stress with your teammates. I was like, I was telling like, you know, and you play with Magis, Sonic, like you don't really. So I was like I'm feeling well, guys. Like I'm feeling good. And I remember I played well this game, and I was like, I can do well. And then I started setting up goals. I want to have a live game on stage. And then I played against FaZe on the World Final or Fall Final, and I had like 2.3 rating. Yeah. And then I was like, you know, I started feeling comfortable on stage, really comfortable.
What was some of the advice that Magus, Sonic, or Apex gave you then? Do you remember?
I think it was mostly like, just be open about your stress, like we're here, and don't like fuck the expectations. Like just come, enjoy. You're here for that. Like you're watching CS and you're watching the stage games and being excited. Just come and enjoy. And I think we always talk about it till now that every stage game we don't know what's gonna happen, like with CS, and maybe tomorrow, like you know, some fucked up thing goes up and there is no stage games for a bit, like COVID happened, and so we want to, so we always emphasize on like just enjoy the stage as much as you can, and even if it's a small stage or a bigger stage, like people are here to watch you, it's entertainment, and just enjoy it and try to be as loud as you can and have as much fun as you can. So every game was, and this was like I think the best advice I got, because it was just, you know, I'm sitting in the game. I remember we lost Dallas finals to Stewie 2K, but I had loads of fun. You know, like the stage was like fuck the French, fuck and fuck Apex, and like the stage was against us, the crowd was against us, but I saw how the team was, and like everybody was fighting, even though we lost the comeback and it was like a sloppy game in the game, but it was a fun experience to just be on the stage and like be part of this kind of story in some sense.
Well, I think also some of those players realize is like these moments don't last forever.
Yeah.
Sure, guys have long careers and you're the best in the world for a while, then you're not, then you maybe again. But some of the rivalries too. Yeah. You know, when you hear Kerrigan talk about, okay, we're going up against, you know, before Navi or G2, you know, it's always a fun game, you know, especially on stage. You need to enjoy these while they're around. There's no secrets, you know, we know how they play, they know how we play, you know the maps, right? It's just about going out there and see who's going to be better on the day. And I think that those are the games that are most entertaining for the viewers too, right? You know, it's going to be a banger and you're just like looking forward to seeing who's going to pop off this time. Yeah.
And especially in this moment of CS, that every player is insane. Like every player has so much skill.
Yeah, have you noticed that over the years? Everyone's just gotten increasingly better.
I think in CS2, you kind of like feel it. But since I joined Tier 1, I think it's to some extent, like even in CSGO, everybody is just unique in the sense. Like a lot of players, there are some players who are like less individually skilled, but like mostly IGLs, I would say. But they're less individual. I think Staven was annoying for me because I felt like he was like shooting to the legs. but he was really smart positioning himself. Like he was always be in a good position, get a good flash. So I was like, I was watching him a lot because I was thinking like, if I have more, like 2% more skill than him and I learn his game sort of, I can be really good. And but yeah, you kind of feel it like you miss 2-3 bullets and you. Yeah. I feel like on flameZ there are better players.
It's a beauty of
FaceZ is crazy, mate.
It's the beauty of Counter-Strike, isn't it? Is like there's so many different ways, there's so many different aspects of this game that you can improve to become better. So even if you don't have the most mechanical aim, if your positioning and your game sense is better, you can still overcome that. Like, that's a beautiful part of the game to me.
I agree.
Utility, like if you know more nades, you have more options of how to handle situations. That makes you better. I think it's such a cool feature of Counter-Strike that not a lot of games have.
Yeah, I agree.
How'd it feel fucking donk?
Actually, we didn't feel him quite like he didn't like he plays good against us.
And also tell us about that grand final after.
I think obviously like when we have a 1v1 duel against him, like let's say we played on the Katowice, we played Nuke against him, like he owned me. Like so many picks I did that I'm in a good position, but I didn't know it. Like I don't know what's coming for me, and he just like destroys you. But against us, he didn't. I have this theory that if you have like Monacy or zywoo or donk and you play against each other, they both sort of like
they level each other out.
Yes, I think so, and I think it's just my like theory over it, and then I think whoever wins is the better team. And this claim is, I say this because G2 and Vitality are donk lowest rating games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think something in this space, but I think also like whenever we play Spirit, we played them one time on group stage, but we played semi and final against, I think 2 semis and 1 final. So it's always like, I think us on stage is like quite different as a team. Like we're really hyped and everybody's very different. So I think it's also like we come with way more energy. And I think, I don't know how Spirit is. I have no idea how they are in game, on stage games. But,
I have no idea.
But I think we have like...
you wrecked him in Katowice though. Yeah. I think you shook him there.
But I think it's also like the experience and zywoo and donk. Because donk is going to have crazy rounds, but also zywoo is going to have crazy rounds. And now you have Rops. He's also going to have crazy... And you saw how he played in the final. So I think if you... Like you saw, Rops broke the record of the final and you're like crazy, right? And then zywoo breaks the record map after. So it's I think... And obviously like Rops could have like a less... Like a game that is not popping off, but zywoo is still gonna pop off. You know what I mean? And if you have this kind of thing, and donk is always gonna pop off, right? But if you have donk doing like a 1v3 or like a killing 3 when he shouldn't, and then you have your teammate giving you the same rounds, then I think it balances out some of the game, and then it relies on the rest of the team.
Does donk feel like as much of a phenom inside the server as he does from the outside?
Yeah.
Like when you play against him, you're just like, what the fuck? How's this guy?
The way he kills me, I have never died like that, if I have MP9 and I full swing, very few people can constantly kill me. I feel like he's always gonna headshot me. Yeah. And the way he's moving, like it's him. With him. Tell. Like you could tell like the way he crouches, goes back, picks you again, like and he's so. And when you're watching the stream, obviously it still looks fast on the stream, but you don't know how fast it is. It's
not that quick, yeah.
You don't even have the chance to like click W. Like
there's
nothing.
always been some like lost in translation between like the Go TV and the actual.
Yeah, but that's X-ray as well, bro.
Yeah, true.
X-ray because we can see it coming.
Right.
And for these guys, they're swinging into the end and bang.
Bum. Yeah.
Dude, but that's why when in Kato last year, when he first came to the tournament, we had them do that highlight donk from the opponent's POV. And I think that's the first time when people when everyone was like, holy fuck, like it's if you don't kill him in the first 2-3 bullets of your spray, like that's it for you. And sometimes it's just the one bullet because he will kill you with his first one, and it was insane to see it. And then you're like, all right, this kid's just absolutely destroying everyone.
And he's also full grinding, so it's like on FaceZ he just breaks the elo record, and it's crazy like how like the guy won a major, he won Katowice, and he's still he's still his life to play Counter-Strike.
Oh, he's like 17, 18 years old.
I'll tell you how we fucked that up, Jason. We get him a girlfriend.
Oh, we can easily fuck his shit up.
Right? He'd stop grinding then.
Or someone shows him World of Warcraft.
Or the third one.
Or the third one,
zywoo is just playing World of Warcraft. I'm sure he's playing it right now.
Oh, no. Get him off that shit.
Nah, I love it. Well, in chat, like, zywoo and Magisk were like proper players.
God, fucking nerds, man.
But talking about zywoo, it felt like even in that grand final, he was a little bit more sort of like I'm gonna do whatever I want on the server.
He's swinging his dick around.
Yeah, he was swinging his dick around. Like it maybe I don't know if he was like, because he's always so humble, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't.
I bet he's not humble when they're
doesn't
playing,
care
bro.
too much. Yeah, I know, but.
Like,
I bet he is.
Did he get a little bit sort of internally like pissed that he wasn't really in the conversation last year towards the end about the number one player? It was just Donk or Monesi.
I don't know if it pisses him off as much as like. I think it has to be weird for you if you're first year and all the rest of your career are top 1 and 2, and then you're like top 3. But I think for him it's. I don't think he took it as like something crazy. Like obviously we had a lot of issues in the team in 2024, and we didn't we won a Cologne, but that's like quite nice. But the rest we choked a lot of, not choked, but we had a lot of opportunities to win more. And I think he also considered that because we won one trophy and we didn't do as well as we hoped for. He's still top 3. I think he took it more like this year we're gonna have we're gonna have like a different roster. Hopefully some things will like go in the past and I can focus on more myself. And I think having Rops in the team, and I don't know if it's zywoo just because I got the top 3 or because you have Rops, but since we got Robin and the beginning of the year, everybody's been working really hard compared to last year. Really, really hard. Like you've never seen vitality in the prac room that much as much as we do now.
Playing World of Warcraft.
Mezzi's doing it to get away from the kid so he can actually...
Yeah, he's on vacation. He's on that esports dad vacation.
Did you think, or did Apex say he was going to talk as much shit as he did, like against mouZ? Was he like, man, I'm going to go after Lotan this time?
Like I was really, really waiting for that to happen, but obviously, like I think Apex is in a stage that he's gonna trash talk everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't get like, I don't, unless you're playing really good, unless it's like a really competitive match, and I think that's the only time that like he's focusing on thinking on the game and he forgets this exists. But yeah, I think it was obvious that like.
It happened before with Snappy and Spinks as well.
Yeah, in EPL as well. Yeah.
Lotan.
Go, don't save.
Belade.
I think it's also that situation where he got Rops instead of him and they just won Katowice. So it's like, I mean, your girlfriend who was an 8 decided to dump you, right? And move on to a guy that's like a little bit uglier and maybe not as successful as you.
Doesn't have as much
right?
money.
But, you bounce back with a 10. And you're living your best life, so you're not thinking about it as much.
Still enough to talk
before.
shit, though, you know.
Yeah. But I think I think because they won PGL, I think because they won PGL, it's like it shows that it was to some extent like a fit for both teams. Like it shows that it, and I don't know how it's gonna be with Ball and IGLing. I'll be honest. Like I think it's quite. I think it's quite a challenge, but I think also they know it. So they're working really hard. So I think their coach is really involved in this kind of stuff.
I'll say this. You guys, Navi and Spirit all weren't at PGL.
Yeah.
Right now.
G2 as well, no?
G2 as well.
Yeah.
Falcons are Furia, Game Allegiance. Right now, the Falcons are one series away from being eliminated, and mouZ could very much not make it as well. Like the game against Liquid.
Okay, yeah.
They are the favorites against Liquid, but they could not make it. So, like they won PGL, sure.
But do you think the old mouZ would have won PGL? I think so.
In that field, probably.
Yeah. But I guess it's still like, winning a trophy is itself like in CS because they had the Mongols.
Yep.
They had FaZe in this tournament, and obviously Falcons
didn't play either of them.
Falcons dealt with both.
Actually, they lost to FaZe, but didn't beat either of them.
Yeah, I think Falcons dealt with most of it, but it's still something that you as a team for them, I don't think the issue was they don't play CS well. Back then, I don't know how it's going to be right now, but it was like choking on the playoff games and like not playing that well as they do in the group stage. I think and I'm not sure, I think they won some tournament last year. They won the Bad Boom in EPLs, but they didn't win a stage.
No. They were lost to finals in Chengdu, finals in Rio.
They started winning matches on the stage.
Yeah, and dominantly.
Yeah, but they didn't win a big trophy.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't think they will look at it as like, it was because you still had good teams there. Like not the best maybe, but you still had good teams there, and I think it just gives you a little confidence that like someone like Exertion. I don't know I think he popped off. No.
Yeah, in the
he had
final.
a good game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this guy gets like this, like what I got, like the hang of it. Like you can do well on stage, and this can transfer to, if not Falcons, like Spirit, Vitality, Navis, G2s, and I think this is valuable. But as you said, like obviously Katowice and PGL, it's world apart.
But I wanted to ask you about the whole SPUNJ situation. Obviously, can't go into detail what the issue is, and I don't necessarily.
Well, you could tell us.
And I don't necessarily care. What I do care about is if you can sort of explain to the viewers like how that impacts your game, like how that impacts your performance as a team. What are some of the things that you can't do as well anymore because things aren't really good when it comes to the relationships between
I guess the context of this would be you guys probably spent 6 months last year of like knowing the roster was going to change, probably leaving, maybe not leaving.
It was so weird. Yeah. It was really weird because, as you said, it's like you think it might happen, you don't know if it for sure gonna happen, but in my brain right now I'm like, what if I what if I don't give a fuck about all the social media team in Vitality? Yeah, let's go, boys. We'll keep it safe.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it was really tough for me because as Apex wrote on his Instagram, like we were not a team for a lot of the year. Yep. And for me, what I care about and my belief is that if you have teammates that like don't judge, like sort of like enjoy each other, the company, and they're really like close family, especially right now when you have a tournament after tournament after tournament, you have to be together for 4 weeks. I think this is something that you want to have, like a friendly environment and everybody feels safe. And if you have someone who doesn't, and also few people who don't, I think it creates like a gap in the team that you can't bridge unless you work really hard. And sometimes it has to come, like it just doesn't come as you wanted it to come, and maybe it comes for like a week or two, but it doesn't, you didn't find a long-term solution. I think this is sort of what we got ourselves into. And switching players in the middle of the season before Cologne, and like because Extras did a tweet after one Cologne, not a tweet but like the interview that he looked for a different team in after London in the player break. But I think for both sides it's quite tough, and I don't think many teams want to have a change before AWC and Cologne. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, also I'd imagine because you just said that right now with Rops on the team, Vitality's never been in the prac room as much. And I imagine if this was last year and you're having that kind of roster upheaval and you have that social gap in the team, that's less hours someone's going to voluntarily be like, I'm going to go to the practice room and
play. I'm not going to go now. I'll wait for him to.
Like I don't like being in this environment.
It's pretty straightforward though, right? Like if you like being around people, then you'll be around. That's why I'm never in the green room with you.
But I don't think we disliked. I think it was just like as you said, it's you're not sure if this is the roster in some sense,
right?
Like because
so what's the point of putting in the work?
So like you're not as motivated, and obviously there is the discipline. You're still gonna play in the practice, still gonna do extra time playing face and this kind of stuff, but it's just gonna be different. And when it becomes different and you don't find a good balance, then it's a mess. And I remember like before Cologne, before AWC, we were like doing an online bootcamp sort of thing. Like we just played a lot of games and face it and everything. And I still didn't gain as much hours as I did when Robin joined the team for some reason. And I was like, what? Like how did I even get myself into it? But I don't think like people in the team dislike Lotan. I'm sure you saw like how SPUNJ is very social and outgoing. So it's not something like it's not like a person you can dislike. It's always going to be. But it was something that we just couldn't find like a balance between, like I think the motivation just slowly gone down, and after you win a Cologne as well, and you're like you see glimpses of hope in some sense. You see glimpses of like maybe this is gonna fix the whole shit.
Work out after all.
And then you can't find your footing again. Then you're like okay, like and you just put yourself in like a roller coaster of like I don't know if a lot of doubt, and you try to deal with the doubt with like playing CS, but you sort of don't find how to, because it's not even like a CS issue in some sense. It's like outside of the game issue. So this is even tougher. You need like,
well, and then the worst thing is if eventually that like bleeds into the Counter-Strike, and then you stop enjoying the Counter-Strike as kind of like the fix or the solution to that problem.
And then it's fucked.
Then it gets real fucked.
Yeah.
Long year.
Should we turn to something sunny?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have better vibes right now in this lineup or when you first joined OG? Because that was you and Alexi bromance, man.
The vibes lineup there.
I remember that, the onliner, you boot camping.
Yeah, actually, wow, this time of my life. But back in OG, it was I was joining in and I was I don't know what's happening. I was playing practice with them and Valde is like all elegant talking and like they're all like they're all so different. And Nico is fucking crazy. and I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is like I thought tier 1 would be.
What was the full lineup when you joined?
Alexi, Valde, Mantu, and Nico.
Okay.
And Nico had this all like cheating heroic thing and
yes.
And I was like the first practice we had, I remember like we joked about it, like, and I saw like they're okay, like they're not against humor, they're not like keeping themselves in, and I thought this is gonna be kind of like how Western Europe teams are gonna be like, more like to themselves and this kind of stuff. But I came from Endpoint, which were really close teammates, like they're talking about everything and they're playing faces until 11 p.m. like every young player dream basically. And I think they were really nice. And then the first boot camp, I was, I'm 17 and I was kind of like scared. But on the other hand, like they were really good people, so it was easy to get along with. But definitely right now, the thing is with you saw the clip that Alexi was like telling I am like mate, this is, and I feel like this happened. It didn't happen like that. Like it's not like someone told Alexi something and he got mad at him. But there was many things that I didn't understand when Alexi said them to us, like criticized us, and in the games. And it's not something that I was like obviously we didn't do good, and then he said something, but I wasn't sure it was connecting to that point that we're not doing good many times. But I didn't say it. I was like a big pussy. So,
you're 17, first team. It's fine. You can be a pussy.
So in the game, it was like good energy, but sometimes it was tough for me to like. I felt like people got like really toxic in the sense and more quiet. And I would assume when you're a young player, I think it depends what kind of player you are. Because if you're like donk and you can be 17, but you kill. So, but I was not like exceptional in the skill department. So I was like, sometimes you have a tough game and you're quite down, but everybody's quite down with you, and you want those kind of experienced players to
bring you up,
lift you up,
to show their experience in some sense.
So what you just said about Alexi there, because I wanted to bring up that clip.
Yeah.
Are you saying that doesn't seem like out of character from your experience?
No, like it. I don't know how it is for them, because I think Blade said like every game they have like a fight or something.
Okay.
But
Jesus.
Like
I mean, you can tell from watching it, like they do get like
chip-headed.
Chip-headed.
But I think it's to some extent like I think it's like a family. You have the players you're gonna be with. You have like your family, and sometimes you don't get along with these two players, and you can fight. I'm just hoping it's like a productive thing. And I think
they found
it is
a healthy
them.
way to fight.
with
Vitality, for example, it's like a nice Grand Rapids, Michigan, American family, right? And Navi is a little bit like a Serbian family, Eastern European family, whatever.
Does Apex never chew you guys out though?
No, I mean it happens, but I think first of all, Apex did a lot of progress in 2024.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think with himself, like as you see, Apex started becoming fucking like ripped off. Like
Apex biceps. Yeah. Hugo noticed as well.
Hugo can't stop talking about it.
He's talking about his triceps every day. Yeah.
Hugo might like him a lot, huh? I think like he had a lot of progress outside of the game that transferred into the game. I think last year was kind of tough in the whole, as we talked about right now, the SPUNJ thing, but. I think right now we have like a team that is very solid, and we have like, Apex might get mad, but it's not gonna get like tilted. It's not gonna go down. It's gonna get mad, and I think it's better to just know why he's mad. And I think this is nice. Like if I do a mistake and someone's just getting mad and doesn't tell me what he thinks, I would be fucking like it will get to me, Okay. But Apex is very honest. Like it's gonna be instantly like you fucked up this thing, and I think this is way better. And it obviously has its own challenges, but I think it's to some extent like you take his benefits, and it's just like a family. You have tools in the team, and you want to use them the right way, but you have to take in consideration that there's some things that are going to be tough, and as a team you want to improve on them. But he improved is worlds apart from when I joined the team. I feel like
it feels a little bit from the outside when he does it. Like half of the reason why he does it for himself.
Yeah,
to vent, like to get that energy out.
I think he also tells us like this is the requirement to like he needs to take it out, but it's good.
And if you know that, then you don't take it as badly because you fucked something up, and you should be criticized about it a little bit, but you know that he's not like going full out at you. It's just sort of getting the frustration out so you can keep going.
It's also something that on stage games you don't really feel it at all, nothing. But like he's in stage games, like you might do a mistake, but you'll be like still it's fucking fine. Like I don't remember who we played against. Spirit, Spirit. It was the Spirit game in Katowice final, and I made like a mistake. We smoke long cross on ST side, and we said like let's wait, and then we cross after the AG. But I felt like I had good timing to cross because I was really close. So when the smoke pops, I went shift, and then they AG'd, and then I die. And I think we lost the round, but like I said like my bad guys, and then he instantly like gave me this like all good. Let's do the fist bump or whatever it is. But in some games it would have been like tougher. Like I think studio games it's like quite different, but on stage games it resets really quick and he insta helps the team again. Like like someone might fuck up, and then round after we'll tell him like. And Apex is really helping like the team in the freeze times. Like even if we play default, they might give you like a call to do, and this can give you like 2-3 kills, and you don't give a fuck about the mistake. You just want a round for your team. And I don't know if he does it intentionally. I never asked him, but many times I had this that something went tough, and then I would get a call that I know I like. You know what I mean? Some chaotic round, go to a smoke, this kind of stuff, and then I get 2-3 kills, and I'm really good in like chaotic rounds, or when it's like calm, but you need to make it chaotic.
Yeah.
And I think for some reason after those kind of like tilt rounds, or I get put in those situations.
He calls your number.
Yeah. Or he just wants me to die, like shut the fuck up now. But it works. Like it sends me to kill in some sense.
No, but I like that. I like that IGL try to like pinpoint the players he needs to get activated in the game and calling your number specifically.
And also himself, like it's tough balance because he wants, every player wants to play good in CS. And I think right now, as you see, since we got drops, like he puts good numbers, and he like way more than in 2024, 2020.
He plays some key positions though, right? Like, the positions where he feels like he has to deliver at least above the standard amount.
But I think there is two approaches in this sense, like per se, Mirage Connector. You don't, any position, basically rotation. You don't have to necessarily be like an insane, like a donk, kind of like frogging out everybody. I think Nico has like a balance that he helps the teammates and he's also starring. And I think Apex is leaning more towards like helping the teammates. So he would try to have calls. He obviously also has his plays that he's gonna try to get kills and he's in a good position. But most of it is like put the A player in a good position, put the short player in a good position, put this guy in a good position, like come like ropes, go stairs and hide, I will bait for you. And this is something that I think you can get along with as long as there is no right Counter-Strike. You can just play CS. And so I think this is something that for Vitality, especially when you have such high skilled players, you can get off with that. You put your like a position that players are aggressive usually, or like they're more involved in the fights. You put someone more laid back, but also you have to consider that he's talking a lot. So it also helps that he's in this position because he has a lot of info, he has a lot of things to go off.
Yeah, so, that's fair. Like I don't disagree with that at all. I just think like in those positions you can't full bot out. Like you can't have one of those games where you're not getting any kills at all. Like you can be setting your teammates up and you can be configuring.
Did you watch our Mirage?
Which one?
Like any game.
Well, yeah, but you're never playing you're
so
you're always towards connector.
Yes, so I think we found a balance in the sense that sometimes like, and even if he feels the game or not, or I feel the game, like we might go for like we don't play by the rules of CS, like 1A, 1. So I think this is something that we have in some maps that we kind of like I would say found our own thing, because then you get to me gonna fight connector and you're gonna get different plans and different, like you're gonna get more fights towards middle. And then sometimes, because I'm the A player, you also have like the vision, the overview on A, so you might come like stairs and go ramp and push ramp. And I think this is something that is like, you're gonna have the players that you're gonna play with, and you're gonna have the position. You have to deal with it, even if it makes less sense. Like when I joined Vitality, I wanted to play connector. I came off OG, and I was in OG. I was full city calling, and I was like really ready to like prove Vitality in the sense that I can do that. But then, I got a B side, but I was like, it's hierarchy.
The life of a player. Like I was ready for connector mirage, baby. I was gonna call everything. I was gonna frag out, and then they sent me on B. So that's like.
But also, what's the benefit is that because you play connector and you play day in OG and you played show, you have so much overview that I wouldn't play B as much as I like. Also, as I was on A, like I wouldn't be stuck on B. I would those times jump short, go under B A.
You do a lot of B ups pushes and stuff. You were with Sphinx, right?
I think yes, I was with Sphinx, but I think I did less B ups pushes, but I was very good when they came out big contact pops. Like I was really good in this kind of, and back then it wasn't like I feel like everybody was baiting in CSGO. Like so you have like someone jumping out the window, the rest of the team is like fucking B hours back then, and so it was quite easy to counter a lot of teams because they were not that good in those kind of pops.
Yeah.
You had one entry fragger and then the rest is like checking the stats on scoreboard.
Yeah, fair
and
a lot of blame apps going around.
and so I was like quite okay in those regards, and then I was like moving a lot on the map, and because you have this experience that the con player is he needs to call but he's on his own sort of, he can't, it's hard to be like flameZ come from B to short, so you just go there and let him the opportunity to call something. And I think I was really good at that on B, and then I got moved to A, and then on A I was struggling more, but I found my own rhythm towards connector, towards like playing on middle a bit, taking the spawns. And I think Mirage is a map that we've been playing for so many years. Everybody knows how to play every position, so it's quite easy to let, and especially when you have Rops now and he can play A, and he played A for fucking most of his life.
His entire fucking life, career.
Where are you going?
I was going to ask about CS2.
Yeah, no, that's I was going to jump on the same thing. Hit him.
I just wanted to know, like, you mentioned it earlier, like the change of like how many good players there are in CS2 now that it's come along. What's the big difference in the game now, CS2 to CSGO, now that you've had some time on it? Like a lot more wide swings, obviously, but like how is the game playing a little bit differently for you?
I think for me it fits way more because the game is more aggressive. I think also breaking the smokes, like.
More dynamic.
In CSGO, I would have games that I play like against a team like VP, and man, I would lose my mind. Like I would be like, this is so fucking boring. This game, like I have nothing to do. There is nothing needed to do. You can just like sit in your position. They can execute A. They can be inside A side after killing 3, and they come still B. And I was like, man, this game is.
I know.
Like and a lot of teams like I would struggle against like those Gambit back then, like VP, like those team that played very passive. And also I think it was due to me, like I wouldn't say I don't have like a diagnosed ADHD, but on CS I would say that I don't want to sit down and do nothing.
You just want to stare at an angle for 45 seconds.
I can't do that. And I was like getting tilted a bit in CSGO that like people do smokes that they take their time, and it looks beautiful for the like it's good CS, it's beautiful CS, but there is nothing happening. You have to wait until the last 20 seconds, and the games are so stretched. And I think as a fan, it's not so nice. So I didn't watch games so much because it was like, some teams I would watch, like FaZe games I would watch because they would be like passively aggressive as fuck. Like there is a duel here. The rounds would go fast, G2 in this sense as well. But then now in CS2, and maybe it's also because of donk a lot, game changed, like so much more duels. People are picking way more. It's more aggressive. You can, and also because of the stage games, you can run way more. People don't hear. I think this is something that I found myself like very comfortable with.
Yeah.
The game is more paced, and people know that if they smoke, they have to cross instantly or really late because people are gonna age the smokes. I think this kind of stuff make the game just a bit more faster, a bit more fits me.
It feels like riflers, the impact swung back to riflers versus uppers right now.
I mean, you see, I think donk changed the whole.
Yeah.
Like I think, as you said, like a phenomenon. Like
well, when I watch it, it feels like I feel like the game just like all of a sudden so many teams are playing it so much more simplified now. Where towards the end of CS:GO and start of CS2, there was still a lot of like movement and cerebral positioning and map control, and now I see a lot more teams. I feel like spreading out into a default, grouping up pretty quickly and hitting a pop.
But I think it's also because Heroic back then in CSGO were like really good, but they changed how CS kind of. When you watch the Heroic, they play like beautiful CS.
Yeah.
And necessarily they didn't have the best players back then. Like you'd have way better players on different teams, but still Heroic would be very competitive with them and beat them most of the time, I think. And they were playing really good CS in this sense, like pushing, always moving, like complicated rounds, defaults. And I think right now the meta is like you need to have like a superstar that carries you, and good luck. Like and not necessarily that, but just overall like a really high skill team. Like, you know, G2 didn't have like a superstar. Like some may argue Nico is, but not the zywoo donk Monacy. But you still had Malps that was very good in the end of the year, and that's why like they won a lot more. And you still had like you just, I think you need a lot more skill in CS2. Or maybe skill is just more shining in this game, like the more...
Sure.
You can't make up for skill as easily maybe as you could in CSGO.
Yeah, maybe something like
this.
Do
you think it's the way the game's being played, or do you think it's the game itself?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think also because people take inspiration from players like donk and this kind of stuff, because you see that he does good... like, sometimes the plays are like hard, but he kills a lot, but sometimes he has really good plays that like, he's put in a really good position. And he has like some position he found on his own, or like some flash, and he just does a solo play, and you want to try it out. So I think people do that, and they find out like they have a lot of skill. But I think also the game is noob friendly, so so you can, it's easier to headshot, and it's I don't know, it feels like you don't have a chance to kill someone holding and swinging you, you know.
Yeah.
So I think people understood this, and they just like fuck it, you know.
But that's why I asked you, is it the game or is it the play style? Well, you've said a bit of both, because like you think about it, a lot of things you just brought into the conversation there, like heroic, being really active. There's no statically holding an angle anymore. You're always jiggling, or you're always like preempting. Okay, so I'm going to do it, then I'm going to crouch in, then I'm going to reset, I'm going to do the same thing again, and then you hope you catch the timing on when that player comes. And like, look. In 1.6, we weren't doing that. Obviously, in 1.6, if you got shot, you would essentially just get completely slowed, right? Like, you wouldn't be able to move and stuff. It's not the same in, like, Source. It's not the same in CS2, CSGO. But because players are doing a lot more, you guys are communicating a lot more. There's a lot more moves. It's like, oh, they do this? Well, this is the counter. But not only is this the counter, we have 3 other options we can do.
Yeah.
And, like, you're doing your counter on your side of the map while your teammates know what the counter needs to be on another part of the map. Yeah. So the game has never been as high level, right, in terms of the reactions or
understanding
of the patterns, and then the awesome moments that happen because of that is the chaos. It's like the players like you were like, okay, they'll do this and they think I'm going to do this, but instead I'm just going to run through this fucking smoke and Apex is going to flash for me, and then and then your mechanics come into play and you're like bang bang bang. It's like sick. I think like this CS2 edition with the smokes is probably the best thing that could have happened.
I think it's a really good meta changing.
It's so dynamic now. Like, it's because to be honest, I'm glad you said it, because I remember back in the VP days, I'm on the cast going like, this is boring, and people being like, you just don't appreciate good Counter-Strike. It's like, no, I do. It's boring though. It doesn't mean that it can't be good Counter-Strike and boring.
It is about headshots in the end, like, you know, like it is about like those kind of like headshots, playing like bots in this sense, like not making sense, but I think the like. On the top of the fans' head, like the teams that you enjoy watching the most were like FaZe,
G2,
and they were like chaotic in this, and they had a lot of rounds at
clutches.
Yes, 2v5s, and they're playing like crazy eco rounds. And obviously, like I think it happens quite less, also because people are way high level this time around. But those 5v5 chaotic rounds are as interesting as any. You know, Nuke is my favorite T side, and I think I have like bad stats on it in T side, but I just so chaotic, so many reactions, so many like
the fights are so scrappy. They're like entertaining to be a part of. Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like you jump main and you kill someone, and then you can kill another guy. And I love those maps that you can open up the whole round in 1 second. You know, and I feel like CS Valve is doing. Bless you. Valve is like I don't know, with a newbie, it's like I don't feel like there is many options. You can go out. I just feel like cities they threw them under the bus on Anubis. Like if the T's want to go away and they have 5 Molotovs, 5 like, you know, if they prepare the whole round,
they take that side.
they're gonna take that side, and the cities have to handle a retake, or someone has to make a really sick play, and you have that nowadays, but how often someone is going to make a sick play against like 3 mollies, 4 mollies, 5 flashes, and B, you know, I was an A player on Anubis, and then when Ropes joined, I went B, and I was like, finally I'm off that like 5 mollies.
Shit, man.
And then I see it's the same fucking thing. Like, you stand cave, you get mollied inside, and they molly you like this pillar. Okay, I have to go like into the dark behind side. You get molly there, and then 6 flashes, and man, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, give me some other map.
Everybody hates Anubis.
The bomb sites of that map suck to play.
Yeah.
They fucking suck.
I think, like, for me, when I look at Anubis, I go, okay, the problem in my mind is mid, because the CTs can't really hold it, right?
Yeah.
They can't really hold mid. So if you give the CTs a better way to hold mid, then there's not going to be so much pressure on the extremities to push.
Yeah.
But the sides are still going to be easy to get the util in. So maybe they need to change, like, get rid of some of the fucking windows.
It's going to be a tough one to change. Like, I feel like they have to think really well to change this map. Maybe give more, like, make it closer for the city to, you know, like the B player can come middle faster.
Rotate quicker.
Yes, because right now, it takes you fucking hours to rotate.
Yeah.
And
smoked off so easily.
You're smoked off. Like you can't do anything. And the T's, when you come, they always have a good position. I think B side, when you go B as a city, if you want to retake, but the T's have one flash or one smoke, and you come and like they can block a whole place when 4 people are, you know. And obviously, like it's not hard to retake as some other maps. I feel like you know. But it's really hard to hold. And once you lose the hold, you're in a 3v5, 4v4, 4v5. And when the T's have the bomb plant, like, good luck with that. And in mid-round, you don't have much utility city. It's going to be tough. And I think this map is just fucking, like, you see how it is. You see, you play phase. I can't play phases on this map.
Really?
I bet it's a nightmare in pugs.
I want to choke myself. Like it's so.
You don't
hard.
have like protocols in with a teammate.
Yeah, but
like,
it's the thing is in the pugs, the people aren't as good with like, okay, we're going to put pressure in pot, we're going to put pressure.
No. But it's
they're just running mid double mollies every round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you don't know how to handle this shit. Like you know what I mean? You're like, what the
Especially with the CT incendiary, just useless.
I was gonna say CT side just seems like it just got nerfed over the past 5 months in every regard. The CT incendiary be a dog shit. Nobody respects it. More expensive weapon.
Nobody gives a fuck about this. Like we see this Molotov, like we see this money, we just it's like
just start laughing.
There's some blue flames. You know, I feel like I'm entering like a Christmas house. You know, it's so shit. And in the past when I played A on Anubis on City, I used to counter the T's rush with Molly and AG. Nowadays, and then I kept doing it at City. I felt it was the same. Maybe it's not the same. They don't get damaged. Like they can sit on this Molly for hours and just. So yeah, fuck this.
I guess that's why we're in a T-sided meta right now. It feels like all the maps are pretty T-sided. Yanko was saying he doesn't think that maps are CT or T-sided.
I loved this point last night when I heard that. I thought it was a sick point.
I had because they were talking about, I think maps are CT side, T side. Yeah, we're talking about train. And I said I don't think in MR12 in CS2 really maps are CT sided. I think everything just depends on the economy. Yeah. Because, you know,
like the beginnings as well.
Yeah, I mean, the start in the pistol, but it's like, okay, Anubis is T sided in just theoretically the way the map works. Yeah. But if you start T side and you lose pistol and you force and you lose that and you get reset one more time, like you're probably not going to win that T side, right? So I think just with the extra smoke and breaking the smoke and all of that, I think it all depends on the economy and who has the momentum. No,
I agree with you because I think also it's economy because you're gonna have a lot of opportunities, and especially on maps where you know it's decided, you're gonna play like big gambles, big pushes, and this you can win a round in 1 second. You know what I mean? So I think in CS, like obviously there is maps that favorably you can be more comfortable as a T side, but it's still, if you lose the pistol or even if you win the pistol and then you lose the second round and you then you have like a 1.5 like 2k, like you lose this one most likely, like if they play well, or maybe then you're eco, then they already have like 3-1, and then there is a bonus round and it's a map that people do big pushes on. And on Anubis it's also friendly, like in the sense that T side are favorable because you don't have to be committed. You can be like default, but you can be like very safe on B, on A, on middle. So, but then still people can gamble really well. People can do a lot of stuff. So I think, and then you win this round 4-1, 5-1, and you basically like you have a good half already. You know and I think I don't know if it's like also a fair argument, but I think if you do a 6-6 half, you won the half as a city. You know.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
So
because you had like yesterday, Liquid played Eternal Fire on train. Ultimate didn't even buy the op.
T-sided,
right? Because on T-side,
how many picks can you go for, really?
Yeah, because but the point being is you were talking about the game is more scrappy and everything. Even on a map like train, a guy doesn't pick up the op, so you don't really need that whole. You feel like you can still make plays with the.
But imagine talking to Train about this. Train was the most OP, like
exactly.
Like you enjoy with the op, but right now it's quite. And I would say the Train is better than Anubis, and I think Train is actually quite balanced right now, more than more than Anubis per se, because there is just more rotations. Also, maybe thanks to because pros used to play Train, you have more ideas. But I feel like Anubis. Well, no, actually Anubis we've been playing for 4 years. So
a while now.
It's just a map that there is. Yeah, like you can't get off. Like a train, you might do a push together, and you get a lot of info. You can play like jiggle position. Anubis, I feel like you can jiggle A, they contact, you die. You jiggle B, they contact, you might die. Like
you also just have more options on terrain at any point in the round. Like if there's an A execute from the T's, like you can look over that Z smoke on top of the boxes in Z, or you can run through and get back bomb
you
train.
You can do a
or
handling
you can
smoke.
And Anubis, it's like, okay, Temple's smoked. If I can flash through, then I'm just in a shit fight everywhere I look.
Yeah. Like it's 1 second in, they're already inside with you, and and train you have a lot of time to like
assess the situation, determine how you want to play it. Yeah.
What did you call that smoke?
Handling smokes.
Is that a term that Vitality use?
No, it's we use it in OG. I don't think we use it in Vitality. But handling smoke is like sometimes you like, let's say I remember like Vertigo B site. Our coach used to say like if we push A and it's gonna be B, but you don't have time to block, and you didn't block them before because you had to take a smoke, so like you were not in a good position, or you block them but they're coming through, do an handling smoke, like smoke on you, smoke something comfortable, and just play around the smoke and try to get like 1v1 here, 1v1 here. I think there was a map that was, I think in Cobblestone on B site, you used to smoke on the site and like play around it. I think like those kind of like smokes, that you just...
Sure.
We used to call it defensive smoke. I would tell, to players, like if you're doing that, and you just throw a defensive smoke, like it's a random smoke in the side that they can pre-fire, pre-angle, pre-swing it sort of, and then you can just have a fight coming your way, because once people are executing, they're not shoulder peeking you, right? They're just swinging. So you're getting easy fights if you're playing at a off position like that.
Unless it's Rops, he's jiggling everything.
But he's jiggling really well.
Yeah, no. Because he was we were doing a Pro League season when he kind of first came onto the screen in Mouse.
Yeah.
And like this was after all the cheating accusation stuff and everything like that. And I remember this is when I just started being an analyst. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be on Rops camp. So I was just in the Go TV at the time, and I would just watch Rops. And he was just so mechanical on every angle he cleared. Sure, it cost him seconds, but it rarely cost him his life, right?
Yeah.
And that he was kind of...
He never dies sloppily,
And that's back when it was, truck drivers and plumbers like me who were all just like Wing, right?
Yeah.
So when he's come in and he started doing that, he's the first one kind of bringing that level
mechanics
into the game. And I actually heard was the conversation you did with the Device and Fallen.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that. They were talking about the way that players take every angle now and why it's harder for AWPers. Because back in the day, players just swing in and the AWP has plenty of time to hit those shots.
Yeah.
Now it's like the pre-aim is there for everybody, and also the precision on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Like keyboard to me was like, we got a keyboard. We need it to move around and shit. But like now it's the way people are just on the A and D, and like the level of precision on that. I use actually I can't. You probably got a gear sponsor. I can't ask.
I got a gear sponsor, but I use a good keyboard. I like the keyboard.
Okay.
I can say it here, or
start with the double. Well, you can say of course.
You can say whatever you want.
If it's your sponsor that you're using.
It's an Asus keyboard. I like it. We had an incident against Mouse or 3D Max or someone that the admin came to Apex or MIBR. We lost the first map, and then the admin comes to Apex and he was like, "You have snapped upon." And we're like, okay, well, fuck it. We lost this game. that's a shame. And then we're like, we're all sitting there, and Rops also is like very, like, if you give him a keyboard, he's gonna figure out that keyboard from 0 to 100.
He's the super
so he knows how to turn on the snap top on the keyboard. So there is a snap top in the keyboard, and then they come and they find out I didn't have a snap top, but I just detected it. I think.
Okay.
We just showed them, and they were like, they came to us and we thought it's done. And
thought you could just get it forfeited.
Lost to 0.
Bro, holy shit! But it was fixed after 1 second. Like they just told us. I think the admin turned it on by accident, because it's like you click something that is. I think you click FN. It's a small keyboard, so FN and tab. And some people have like FN3 and they buy like an AK Kevlar, and then they check the tab.
Yeah. Okay.
Bomb snapped upon.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you.
Yeah. Tell me, when you guys had to have been. You guys had to have been popping off when Apex was going nuts last night. Had such a good sick map. I bet that's more fun than Zywoo popping off as Apex going nuts.
I think it's full fun when he's popping off against this kind of team as well. Like they can like Spinks in this A, and it's like still a competitive team in this. Mate, I loved it. I was like, say this to them. Say this. You feed them up a lot.
He delivered the porn Twitter line.
Did you deliver the porn line?
I told him tell him about the Twitter porn.
That was
like
funny.
sneaking in his info in his head.
It's like how flameZ is the devil on your shoulder. Yeah, say this.
He's already got himself Apex one devil and then flameZ the other devil. Right?
Yeah,
'Cause you guys
wow.
are just going at him. I love it.
I was full hyping it up, but I was thinking before the game. I said it on one of the interviews, I don't remember which, the podcast with Harry, I think.
Yeah.
I said it that I'm gonna like try to trash talk more. And yesterday I was thinking before the game, what is like what can I say? And usually you want to be authentic with it, but I was just thinking like some ideas, and I was thinking like really good stuff, but I was thinking in Hebrew. So I was thinking like maybe I can scream on Lotan and like exertion, but yeah, the game. I don't know. I feel like if it's like a game that is quite not competitive, like it's not a big challenge, but it was challenging at some points. But zywoo just like he gets you those close rounds, and fuck it, it's like not a close game.
That catwalk clip he had at like 9 HP is so unreasonable.
Yeah, well, the shot.
It's so unreasonable.
Oh, it's crazy. And it's like I died, and me and Apex are like, what the fuck, like we're shocked.
Well, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to do it, because here you're going to still be in the same face-to-face setup, even if you get to the grand final.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just something that I want to build up, but I want to build up on authentic, because I don't want to be like I don't know who said. I think it was Cadian that he has scripts before the game. Like,
does he really?
I think I don't remember.
Prepping lines. These players are casters now.
No, I don't know about that. Like the shit talk that I'd like is the stuff that you obviously don't want to get personal, but the stuff that like if you, well,
why not, Chad?
I think
that's my boy right there.
But not personal, like
personal.
Not like fuck your mom, but like
that's a good line. It's
that's
pretty
a good line.
Keep that.
Yeah,
Save it.
but personal as in like there is so many teams and ex-teammates and like things that have gone wrongs in teams that I think like you can scream to each other some personal stuff, like yesterday when he's screaming like you miss Zai, would you say it's personal?
No, what I mean is
or
like,
you baiting again,
what I mean,
you have to fight. Like that's personal. But
what I mean is something like go to the gym, you fat cunt. Like like, I'm talking about degrading them as a human being.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
well, no,
it's a good angle.
That's bad.
Apex told Gravity, shut your fat mouth. So shut your big mouth.
They're French, so it's
Yeah.
probably fine.
We're also friends. But I think it's something like I think it's funny, and I think the fans, it's entertainment business.
Yeah.
So I don't think you want to like there is a limit. Obviously, you don't want to tell someone something on his. Nah, there is limit.
There is a limit,
Because then people will go crazy.
I like how this is where he turns to the dark side.
There's no limit. There's no limit in Counter-Strike. Go nuts.
He's normally the most reasonable guy.
Yeah, there's no limit.
There is a limit.
As long as you're not getting canceled, I don't care. Say whatever you want.
Well, let's see who pushes.
Yeah, but that's the limit.
Okay, so there is a limit. It's just way higher than y'all think it is.
Yeah.
Does shit talking? Have you been in a situation where you feel like it's either opposing team shit talking you has affected you or your teammates, or
I play on
you have
such a volume that I have no idea what. When Gravity was doing the mouse thing, I only knew about it after the game.
Okay.
I thought he's screaming with Apex, so I'm only after the game I realized what people say and what people not. On Blast, there was like a period of time that the studio was like a triangle.
Yeah.
And then that's where I heard some people scream because they were really loud, but. It's never been affecting me because I don't hear it as much. Yeah. But it has been affecting some of the players in my team. Sure. I think when I played with Dexter in OG and Apex was screaming, Dexter, stop! I think it got into him a bit. Yeah. And I think Config, and I'm not sure. I still don't know it up until today. But I think Config, whenever we played with Nico and this kind of roster, and they were screaming at him, I think Config was like. He did some crazy. He would like they would scream at him. He would have like a bad game. Then he would reconnect again. Like he would get in his mind, But I think some players are really, it gets personal with them. But that's why I'm saying like what I feel like what Apex said to Spinks yesterday is personal because it's things that like they make sense. He's gonna miss that, in the sense like. Sure. But it's just gonna be in his mind, Yeah. Telling him he's a fat fuck. He's not gonna be like.
Well, but he's not fat.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's say, like telling him that he's. I
didn't really fuck his mom, but.
Sure. But I feel like people are more mature than like if you're a fat player and someone is like you fucking fat fuck. I don't think you care that much.
Like, it's just mean though. That's all.
Yeah, it's mean.
I think like calling him.
This you have to hit a nerve, Chad.
Yeah, but I don't think it's funny.
Hits a nerve.
You
It
don't
does?
think?
No, I do think.
Yeah, it does.
exactly. That's
Yeah,
why,
that's why
I
it's
would say
good.
personal. Yeah.
I don't think that's personal.
Okay, so
Because that's Counter-Strike
Haters in the
related.
game.
Yeah.
It's
Haters
like
in the game.
if you know the way someone
Well,
clutches all
he
the time.
understood personal as like directed at a person.
affect him. 'Cause I
Oh,
don't-
well, yeah, that will affect him, hopefully.
But I do think that if you also like, it has to be funny, right? And if you call him fat, like, I don't think the fans are gonna be like, yeah, it's funny. Like,
Oh yeah, great one, bro.
Yeah. It's like the mom jokes, you know. It's not gonna be like, wow, it's like hilarious. It's gonna be funny if there is, like, if it's something that I don't know, like their ex-teammate and he was always joking about, you know, something like that. But I don't think calling people, like cursing people out, is just like gonna be funny.
Weak, yeah.
Yeah.
Or look at me, Ricky.
Yeah, that's good.
Look at me.
Is there
The Americans are so good in
I
this
know,
shit.
we love that. We get right in.
If only they could back it up.
Is there
Yeah.
a team that you don't like?
There is that.
To play
You know, that you
against?
have, or just like, because you're a very nice guy, you're personable with everybody, but is
Yeah.
there one that you're like, fuck these guys?
Fuck these guys. I think fuck Liquid. I don't like the Australian players and shit.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Justin's such a cunt. Man.
I think everybody nowadays is super nice. I feel like there are some teams that are very antisocial, but not like, I wouldn't say like Spirit are not talking that much, but I would say because of their English, but I would say they're also very social. Like I interact with them many times, but I would say some teams like when I was in OG, I used to hate Vitality because they always used to kick me out of their like play, like, you know, to come to Spinks and talk with him, and then someone from the fucking staff would be like, "Oh, fuck off!" Like, I used to hate this shit. This would drive me nuts.
Did you go talk to him now that you're in Vitality?
Yeah, I
you go
was
talk
telling
to that
you-
guy.
I
You're
tell-
like, you motherfucker.
I told him. I thought it was the old manager we had. It was Pesh. His name was. I told him, man, you were. I thought you were fucking hating me. Like, it's like, no, we have a bubble. We have a bubble. We cannot do this. Huh? And
It's like a French accent.
that was like
That's
really
very-
and I was, but I think teams that I think Liquid. I like Nerds and Twist a lot, but I feel like Naf, JKS, and Ultimate, they're really quiet, but they're also social. But let's say like JKS is the only one who like cracks up jokes with me. Naf, like I sometimes tell him like, Naf, always like, did you smoke cannabis today? Like he doesn't want to talk with me. And like the guy looks like he's on like 6 kilos of cannabis. Well, I'm like, okay, fine. Like, but and with Ultimate, I see him a lot in the gym, and he's like, he's good to talk with, but I don't feel like I get to have conversations with them as much.
Sure.
So I'd say this is the only thing that I'm like, you know, I feel like a little bit distance, but also Twist and Nerds are really good friends of mine. So I'm like, it balances out.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's some like back in the day, because we didn't have prac PCs all the time. There used to be a whole different dynamic.
So
with
Yeah,
players.
social.
It's to be 24/7, but it was also national teams, right? So
It was more so, yeah.
So but people spoke English. Everybody spoke English and everything.
Look, yeah,
They started breaking out over the years of their
Yeah.
show.
I mean, also things were less professional. So we had players drinking at the bar like the night before the game, going out.
I think your team was
Your
pretty
players
cool.
drinking on the day.
Not when we had a game.
No, but after, like in the night.
Well, if we were out or if we lost or if we won, you know.
Yeah, of course. But this is every team.
It's your one opportunity to do something, and it's back to the grind.
Win or lose, we booze. A FaZe Clan story.
Wow, that could be a chapter.
You
Jason.
were in the major with them?
Yeah.
In the one you lost, the final.
No,
Who was it?
after Boston, Robin.
Shit coach. No. Actually, I think they scammed him in 2022.
Yeah.
He didn't win the coach of the year.
Well, that's crazy that you win Katowice, Cologne, and the
Blade
major.
got it, right?
Yeah.
Blade got it.
Yeah, Blade
I
got
think
it.
so,
Yeah. And Blade won only Lisbon this year, no?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. I don't think
remember. It wasn't as
Well,
much.
didn't
Robin,
win
obviously.
any of the three biggest
Yeah.
ones.
So, and
Right.
Ross is telling us he was a good coach. He sounds really nice.
Yeah, like different teams need different sort of coaches.
yeah.
Doesn't always have to be the most
Genius.
tactical.
Yeah. Could be a social person.
When you have Kerrigan as your in-game leader, right?
you don't need someone genius.
When you have guys like, I don't know, Robs, Brokey on your team, like, and then on the other side you have Rain and Kerrigan. Like, these
Yeah.
are completely different personalities, and
you need to match them.
yeah, you need to like sort of get the best out of everyone at the same time, and they're not like
You know,
same.
I think Zonic has found the perfect balance between being very social and very creative in the game. Like he's not gonna. When I was with him for Vitality 3 months, nothing huge, right? But the way he anti-stratted and the way he like gave ideas and the way he was like, he always, you know, even if it went well for me, he was making sure it can go more well for me.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that, you know, and And when I joined Vitality, I didn't sort of like how it was because there was a lot of sarcasm in the team, and I was like, I'm okay with sarcasm, but I was not, a lot of inside jokes that you need to like understand and shit like that. And I was like, I'm not so familiar with it. And Zonic is full troll, he's like full of jokes and this kind of stuff. But what I liked a lot about him is that it was like, I would have a talk with him about I'm not feeling comfortable on overpass. He would really try to like assist me on that in every space he can. And then you had and you have Matt, the assistant coach. He would also be like very he would go in and how do you say chime in or
chime in?
Chime in.
Yeah, okay. So he would chime in and like try to help. But Zonic was also very good outside of the game to make sure that you don't have things popping up slow like you. And I think also the Lars was quite good at that, like the performance coach. Yep. I think it was like when I joined Vitality, I saw how different a main coach can be like in this sense. Like it could be very inspiring. You would want to win the game for him. And also I remember one time the guy took a pause, I think it was Cologne, and he said, guys, we fucking win this game and we go Korean barbecue. And I don't know why this full hyped me up, I was
goddamn why. Soju, brisket, kaibi, samjang, kimchi.
What did you say? Soju? I thought you said soju, like because Vitality paid and I soju.
Jason's married to a Korean and he loves Korean food.
He's an alcoholic.
Your last name is Moses.
No, that's his nickname.
Nickname. Oh, okay.
My last name is O'Toole.
Oh, fuck it then.
Doyle rules.
Doyle rules. Yeah.
I thought you were Jason Moses.
No, I get that frequently though. Yeah. I picked that name when I was like 13 years old. I didn't understand the implications.
People turn around a lot at the airport when we're talking like, "Yo, Moses!" And they're like, "What? He's back! He's back!"
About to be back in my random bag search.
Paunovic.
Okay. Yeah, he sounds Serbian.
We always say Janko, pound a bitch.
Pound a bitch.
Yeah. That's his alter ego.
Janko, pound a bitch, and you're Jason what? Jason the Rule.
I don't know, John. What am I? What is the next nickname? Get in there.
We just call him Jason O'Toole.
Jason O'Bold.
No, sometimes we call him Muhammad because of the beard.
Muhammad?
Yeah, the beard. Yeah. So when I grow this beard out, I get conveniently a little bit more randomly selected for airport searches.
Okay.
Yeah, even taxi drivers.
Yeah, even taxi drivers.
But I rate your bald head is good because some bald heads look like a spit stick. You know, like what I mean? They look
a spit stick.
You know, like the deodorants. Stick on them. They look shiny.
Yeah, no, I have a nice shaped head.
Yes, so you have like a head that it doesn't look like. You have like a strong head.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I wonder how you would have looked bald.
I shaved it when I was doing the.
He looked good. He looked good too.
The hair transplant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you liked it?
Once I was in the surgery, right? The thing is, you can either try and do it around the leftover hair you have, or you can shave your head. And I was like, let's shave my head. And I did, and I was like, actually, you know what? I could probably pull this off.
In China, we said, and he told me the procedures.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks after, man, if I go bald tomorrow, I would just.
Did he show you the pictures?
I don't think he showed. Yeah, he showed me some pictures.
Yeah.
But he just told me like 2 weeks after you have to sleep for 1 week. Oh, by the way, what do you think about this thing? This new addition?
The mustache?
Yeah.
I think it's strong. I think it's coming in nicely.
I think 3 more months.
3 more months.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're Australian. I assume you.
Well, what's the thought process behind the stash?
I went and shaved my beard in Katowice.
Yeah.
And then I kept the mustache and I was like it was like 2 months in for the beard. Yeah. And I was like, I quite like the mustache, and then I just fully shaved it. And then I was like, fuck, why did I shave it? And then I took pictures with it. I sent it to my girlfriend. She said, I really like the mustache. I thought, okay, I'll keep the mustache for you. The thing I'm finding weird is that when you drink water, you can feel this.
Yeah, it tickles a little bit. Yeah.
This is so
Flavor
weird.
saver.
Are you trying to grow it out all the way?
Yeah, not like this, but I'm just gonna try to have like this a bit more. And see how it is and what people think, obviously.
What are you, 21?
Mustaches are coming
21,
back in a big way.
But also, I don't know if it's controversial to say, so I will ask you guys and you tell me if it's good. But saying like I'm saving up for Movember is okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will probably go until November and see how it is.
If you think that's the most controversial thing.
No, but I don't know because it's a mental health thing.
No, but it's bringing awareness to it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, but people, someone cracked a joke like you. Oh my God! Well, there is a train over there. There is a train and there is a bridge here, and I thought a train is gonna. Oh my god, I was so scared. But so I just think I will try to keep it and see how it is and what people think. So far, I'm getting mixed comments from like Yanko.
What,
like,
from the internet?
2 months? No, from people close to me.
Okay.
I don't know. I wish there would be like an HLTV post of flameZ mustache, and they would just.
Now there will be.
You just got one.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Say what you think. Say what you think, boys and girls.
Come on, just can you tell us the truth? You just saw Golden
Oh my
with
god.
his, and you're like, I want that.
No, why? I saw Golden. I told him, hey, like they always crack jokes. Apex and him that he's a tiny man. He's a tiny man. And
He's got a killer mustache.
Vertically challenged. Yeah.
vertically challenged.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of
okay.
saying it. You know?
Yeah.
Challenge sounds like.
I'm mentally challenged.
I have a question. Also, might be controversial, but calling someone like, how would you call someone a tiny man in a okay way?
You'd say he's a small man.
Small man.
Yeah.
The 2 words that I'm thinking about are not, but they're not like.
It's safer not to on camera.
No, but they mean like the word that starts with M.
Yep.
It means it's like a disability.
Look, I haven't really looked into the etymology of the 2 words you're thinking of. I just know that it's easier to avoid controversy by not saying those things.
It's so weird because when you're foreign, I assume you like.
I had the same problem, bro,
like,
with much worse words. Jason can testify to
like
that.
Yeah.
it's so hard because like let's say
You don't know which word is really bad and which word is just bad.
Because for and maybe like it's a lack of education as well, like in English, but it's like some of the words it's just like it means like you're like you don't have a lot of height on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't sound like a bad to something, but in English it might sound bad because it's like it's like some terms are like actual disabilities, but people use them on daily basis.
Yep.
Or like they used to use them. So that's a bit tough to know when you come out of like somewhere that they like you don't really know if that's a.
I think the thing is, like, especially in the internet in the modern day, right? Erring on the side of caution is always the safest thing to do.
And there's been so many changes.
Yeah, because that's the thing you don't know. Because the thing is, you're always going to offend someone with something you say. Like I notice, because I do a lot of podcasts and stuff, and there's little things that I'll do that are just super mundane, and it'll piss somebody off.
Yeah.
People were pissed off at Jason yesterday because he had his fucking shoes on the couch, right? People
Were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
What the
But
fuck?
but the my point of bringing that up is like, essentially, no matter what you do or what you say,
Yeah, people are they have the option to criticize.
exactly.
A free speech, mate.
The
Yeah.
internet is tailor-made for people to be able to vocalize the reasons in which they're upset.
What'd you say?
The internet is like tailor-made
Yeah.
for people to be able to just put out what's bothered them.
So that's why it's like
True.
that's why it's safer just to
Yeah, but also like not about safe. It's about like you want to be respectful, you know, like
Sure.
so
Yes.
you don't want to like you don't want to do like if it's intentionally you do something, then it's like a bit like for me it's a bit fucked. This is where like you know I don't know about like the whole like I think I heard Simple saying a lot of bad stuff, but yeah, it's fine.
Sure.
Huh? But I think it's something that in some countries saying some words is gonna be like just like it's gonna be like the term that they use for that, but in native English people you have like those terms are actually in the dictionary mean something like a disability and then it's really disrespectful to use them as jokes and not like the term themselves.
Did you see what happened to the guy in Valorant?
No.
He was on a podcast like this and called someone
A retard.
Wow. Jason.
I don't want to play hangman with the audience. He said retard.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's fine.
He called someone
back.
who was like a
No, I think it was just used like generally in a
As a
colloquial
joke.
way.
Okay.
Right?
I did.
Like, huh?
Like we just used it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And
Well,
I mean,
Jason's using it as
the example.
Yeah.
But and then he got cancelled.
He had to apologize.
Yeah.
So he had to do a full tweet apologizing.
He
and
chose to
stuff.
apologize.
Well, yeah, but he was under a lot of public scrutiny because of it.
Fuck them. They're wrong.
Well, we're
It's
going to have
triple
to delete this
esport.
part from the VOD anyway.
he,
so
he
it's
thought
fine.
that word was back. It wasn't back yet.
Or ever.
Ever.
You never know, really.
Yeah.
But like for you guys to cast,
Yeah.
like let's say you in Australia, like you use a lot of curses,
Yeah.
right? But it changes the, like you have to adapt to.
The Australian accent makes the curses sound fun.
Ah yeah, okay.
I just think, no, so I think the
But
thing
also
is,
you say cunt, right? You don't say like
Yeah.
you don't. like you don't joke on people. You just say like overall words like fuck off, like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, well, if you're using cunt, like the Brits do it as well, right? It depends on
what is cunt? Yeah. Vagina? Like in the
yeah.
So when you say you fucking cunt,
but it doesn't mean that when you say it, right?
Like fuck, like you're fuck.
It's a versatile word.
Fuck you.
Like, it can mean that in a certain sentence.
But it's not.
Structure.
It's not always
nobody
a
in
bad
Australia is like like, can I see your cunt? Nobody's.
No, that would be very crass.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would. I don't think that would work either. I think you'd have a tough time getting that one past the keeper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But like the way you would, you know,
the naked man.
the way that you would use it, like in America, it's really bad. Like in America, it's a really bad.
That word is held
really bad.
to the hardest standard. That one's rough. Yeah.
Okay.
But you never. That's a word that on broadcast you should never say.
Really? But I felt like I've seen your LGTV confirmed like.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, because like this,
ISL and
this isn't like
it's like official sponsored broadcast is up here.
Okay.
Like,
Podcast with a
podcasts
couple
are like
of
closer to
people.
Will you get
here.
fined?
What if I said it on air?
What? Why did Sadokis lose his job? What did he say?
Which time?
Let's not play hangman with the audience. Chad, tell him what Sadika said.
Yes. Thanks, Jason. So Matt had a couple of indiscretions over the years.
Matt, his name is
Sadicus, yeah. So he had a couple of moments where he did some things that I'm sure he's probably not the most proud of.
Yeah.
And they led to him no longer getting hired.
Eventually, they just built up to the point where
Like you'd
TOs
say
are just
things
like
on
it's
the
not
cusp.
it's not worth having.
No. He
no.
did things. So one of the things he did was at an event at Rio. The other was on a stream.
A personal birthday stream.
And he was
Shouted a
intoxicated.
racial epithet.
What's his epithet?
Word? Yeah.
Slur?
Yes.
Yeah.
A racial slur.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in Rio, he just caused so many issues outside of the broadcast at the hotel that it was just like, can't fly anymore.
So, like any employer, right?
Yeah,
like if you cross that line enough times. The thing with Matt is he's extremely talented at casting, right? Like I'm sure you've always heard some.
Yeah, he was a good caster.
Which is why it's like sad to lose somebody who.
Who did the Big Apple and Snacks is Hungry? Him?
That's him. Yeah. So there's like a lot of moments that Matt have done over the years that would be some of the best casting lines in any game, right? Like he's got some really like
some bangers.
The one that he had with you with
Shepherd Staff takes down the goat.
With Monacy versus with Simple.
Scrawny always tells me when Matt came back and delivered that line in that grand final, Scrawny was like, "Oh fuck, like we have real competition stepping back."
Matt was just like unreal at it. Like,
But wait, you guys. So you guys, before you cast the game, you see the players and you're thinking about lines.
Think about fun ways you can use the names.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not
like this sentence. It didn't come up with it in the moment.
He had it the other way. He had it the other way. Because Monacy got the kills, he used it in a different the line is never
he wanted
like,
Simple to.
Well, it could have gone either way.
Yeah,
but I think it was designed for Simple against Monacy. This is what I had heard.
Yes.
So what did he say? The
Shepherd Staff takes down the goat.
Okay.
So the reference being that Simple is the goat of Counter-Strike, the greatest of all time, and then Monacy with his Shepherd Staff hurting farm animals.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, he had some that were pre-made. All casters have, I think, most play-by-play casters these days have some pre-made lines for various players, or some play on the words or their name, like Chad's saying. And then there's a creativity in the moment with that line. So you just kind of have it prepared, and then you have to creatively kind of activate it when you're in the moment.
But when who is your partner now?
Dinko.
Mm-hmm. But before that with
Anders.
Yeah. Did you together or with Dinko together like sit down and then like say we do that, we might say this, we might say like, oh, you just like you keep it to yourself? And
I don't ask for his. I'm not huge on pre-prepared lines myself. Usually we cover like storylines for the game, of like various players inside the server, the teams, like the big picture storylines for the teams. Like obviously in Katowice it was easy because it was like Apex has been here 11 times, hasn't ever gotten it, has gotten close. Those ones are just like hand delivered to you.
But these are just like before the game start, like just to entertain the fans with like some
Well, and it's like a thread that you build throughout the match so that the viewers are the story is building for viewers. But we don't actually say I have these 5 lines prepared for these moments or these players. Or
I think it's dangerous if you have too much stuff prepared, because then you try and crowbar it in. So like let's say you've got something for you and you get the first kill of like a 1v3 story, and then you start building for it. Unless you can play it away, right? But if you go too hard and then you don't win the round or whatever, you know. But the things with Jason saying about the story, the reason that you want to have that stuff is so that you can bring those in the down moments of the game. Yeah. And then like when you have the big climax of the game, all those things come true.
Yeah, actually, there is a lot of dead time in the game, like freeze time. And
well, you were talking about fucking VP at the end of CSGO. Casting a VP match back in the day was like, you better have an hour's worth of fill prepared. Like you have to be ready to just fill a minute
actually,
and
with
a
them,
half.
everybody bullied them on the chat. James saving. Like,
yes.
But actually, basically, a lot of times when I do the podcasts on ESL and this kind of stuff, like I think it's gonna be a fun job after CS to just like be around, like, you know, sort of like you, Janko, like you understand CS, but you're also like very funny on the desks. You know what I mean? Like you, and I think it's nice this balance because people know you understand CS, like you've coached like major teams and but it's also good that you can joke about it. You're not so like. I remember one time you had the ESL Pro League cast and you got some player and the guy was not shutting up about CS and I was like, I just left the stream.
It was too serious.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was too serious.
Yeah. It was what?
Too serious.
Too serious.
Too serious, yeah. It's like, they're doing this because of that. And I think it's nice, but not every round. Like, they're still like casters and let them do their job. And if they... Because also you guys are good at your job, like, with asking people how... Like, what do you think about this round? Like, you give them their opportunities, and then you give them opportunities to be funny. And I think this is something that... Like, some of the players... I think most of the players are really good at that. Like, they're not, like, too serious in it. Like, they come to enjoy as well. But there was one player, and I don't remember who it was, that I just left the stream. I couldn't. Like, it was... Every round, I'm basically listening, like, to a CS commentator. You know, and commentator in the sense, like, they're going A side now, and then be doing this because of that. And maybe it's nice for the fans in this sense, because you understand more CS. But I think you also have way more opportunities to do that. Let, like... You people scream and like fancy, but let the player like talk when you know when it's a complicated round and you want to explain, like when it's something cool, but not every fucking round. Like
I mean, you have different audiences you have to kind of cater to, and like different people you work with are more about the X's and O's and the details, especially with players. But yeah, it's always a balancing act because like some fans like those details. Some fans want you to go into the nitty gritty, and some fans are like, we're just here to kind of enjoy and casually watch.
I reckon it's good. I remember Karrigan did it with you and Alex, I think. Yes, and he was so good because he was like having jokes, and then he sometimes goes in and like goes details about the game. And for me, it's nice. I assume also for players that are like just face it and they're grinding to be pros, it's nice to have like a game that you watch a demo with a pro in some sense. Like it tells you this and that and that. I just think that it's as an entertainment like the guy wants to come up on the cast and sort of like have fun with the casters, because the casters, you guys are so talented. We don't need to. Like, we'll never be in a position that we need to cast the round, you know? That
sure, you have to do play by play, yeah.
Plus, there is always like the caster and the commentator. Like,
I'm the color commentator.
Yes. And Alex is like hype or whatever.
Play by play.
Yes, play by play. Exactly. So, and you understand CS as well. You know what I mean? Like, who is Londers and Scrawny? Who is the
color commentator? Is
Londers. Yeah. But so I would say that it's for like people understand the Counter-Strike, so you don't need to really explain. Maybe you have more details to go into because you're like you know what's happening here because you played Prague against them, or like you know this strat. But I think you should focus as someone who comes in to the detailed rounds. So maybe if I do this, and I think it's also hard to do it to cast in when you're not native English.
Oh yeah,
I think it's quite.
It's huge. It's a huge barrier. Yeah.
Like you guys have so many words you can use that I never heard in my life, but
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, but you're also doing it good, I think. But like the color in EPL and this kind of stuff, you don't do it in like Katowice finals, but also like you're on the like on the desk. So.
But when I do it like here, I basically just do analysis live, sort of. You know, I just break it down a little bit, and I think what it comes down to, and these guys can say it as well, it's all about like telling the story of a round, right? Like Counter-Strike is more than just the kills. Okay, that's what it comes down to. But you know, how did flameZ get in this position all of a sudden? He got 2 kills and like everyone is blind. So that's what you try to, because even though CS is probably the easiest esport to follow and the game to follow, it's still about like understanding how it got into that position, so that someone who's like maybe an average player or a poor player of CS, when the round is over, they sort of know why this team won the round. Sure, it can be something as simple. flameZ had a sick round, killed 3 guys, or it can be, well, actually
he got
they
in a good position because of
them,
Apex
with this utility, they confuse them, and then if you're watching, you're like, okay, so that's what happened. Like, and everyone wants to understand sort of what's going on. Makes it easier to follow on a basic, even if
honestly,
it's on a basic level.
The biggest gap that I always find players help the most in is like big picture tactics is not a huge deal.
The
like
micro,
it's like the player decisions of saying this smoke landing here paired up with this Molotov and this
Changes
flash
the
that
whole-
pops here. Now you know what peak they're trying to activate, and that's why you chose to slide into this position. Other than like those little micro details of the individual decisions are the biggest gap in a cast.
I mean, there was the one with Twists when Twists was doing the Katowice desk with us for the grand final or the semi-final a couple of years ago, and it was Overpass, and he was just talking about how this one guy was like, he was playing, when you go out of Monster ST and then on the right you can play this off angle, and he was just saying that the guy was like playing too shallow. He was too shallow or too deep, something like that. Like he wasn't so, it wasn't like a good position. It like blew up. Everyone was, talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, this is what we're fucking missing. Like, it's like, it's like.
But that's because you guys sit like.
We play the game so much, like we see that.
Yeah. But you guys sit in it's probably the same as it used to be back in the day. You jump in a server and you're like, oh hey, like come check this angle with me. I want to see when you can see me and like what can you see of this and if I look like this. That's all the shoot.
Yeah. But also like when Ultimate was benched on Mirage and you were like, what is he doing? What is he doing? I think this is also like something that the player would say. You know what I mean? Like that. I think this is something that you understand CS that, and I think this one is not so bad as like it's framed out to be. Like
I look, like you said, entertainment. People at home really, some liked that I did it, some didn't like that I did it. Yeah,
I think it's
gotta add a little showmanship every once in a while. Yeah,
I think the thing with some positions, like you need to understand that people are probably gonna walk towards this position, and by walking there, they're probably gonna see you. So I think this is what Ultimate didn't think they're going to walk to this position because one went default and planted and the other guy ran backside. But then the guy backside just wanted to go bench, so he looks bench. But if he goes from van to bench, he wouldn't see Ultimate. So I don't think it was like that, catastrophic in the sense like he fucked the whole round up because, well, it can happen in CS. And but to some extent, it's like, a player will watch it and be like, it's you squeeze your ass a bit, like something shit's gonna happen here.
Yeah. It's also like too, like when a decision is like when you can make the decision to shoot or hold the trigger, and you just know the consequences of that decision are going to be so like it's either going to win the round or lose it. So like the fun of it is actually he's made the decision to hold it.
He just had a tough game. He had a tough series overall. Like, there's another round where he was meant to smoke, like you could tell because he ran into sight to smoke Palace. And then he runs in the site, throws the smoke, and then starts running back ticket, and then gets caught mid-sight, and it's like...
Yeah, you feel sloppy when it happens.
It's like,
it's one of those games where his eye wasn't focused on the monitor.
But exactly those kind of things, it's a shame that, for a pro, I think that from a pro perspective, it makes sense, but I think it also like comes... Like
sure.
Like someone might have said like Ramp is... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this happens quite a lot, that someone dies and he looks like a fucking...
Yeah, looking the wrong way.
Yep.
But
that's what I reckon happened in the 4v2 yesterday with the tunnel fire on train.
Oh boy.
What happened?
They just left B in a 4v2 too because they thought a guy could be flanking, and they left B to check CT, and the two players went B and won the 2 on train.
Okay. But I think it's also something that is like in a 4v2 in a maps that are so far away from each other. Like this, like I think it's a fair idea to also go like 4A and push A and try to flank B and have a good position, but it's because I think sometimes it's not nice to be like 4v2, but you're 2-2.
Yeah, it's 2v2.
Or 3-1 and then you're 2v1.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes like those maps you gather up 4v2, maybe not 4v2 if it's like a different map than Train, but because Train is so isolated, but it's so close to each other, but it's so like, from Connector in the past you could hold them in, but nowadays you're like Connector is fucking useless. So
we gotta start wrapping this up.
What's the time?
They have to go.
I have a shuttle in 10 minutes.
But
send this to your boss to watch.
No, to end it, I just wanted to ask, you guys only lost one series this year. You only lost to Eternal Fire.
Oh yeah?
That's it.
My God,
all year. So what is like
no big deal.
What do you feel like is the main thing that could stop you from lifting the trophy here as well?
A good question. I think we're in a really good position as a team. We're really good outside of the server. We're really good. Like right now, we're probably like in our prime in some sense as a team. Like obviously Katowice was the thing, but we're in a really good shape right now. Everybody outside of the game, inside of the game. I think, like if we lose to ourselves, I would say like this is the only. I think this is the only, and obviously like if you play against donk and he goes 2 rating, then fuck it. But Yeah, I think mostly that kind of cases, like you lose to yourself, you come to a game and you don't respect the enemies too much, or you lack energy, and I think this kind of stuff, lacking focus.
Yeah,
you lack discipline.
Anything you want to say before we shut it down?
See ya, Blue Phoenix. Have a good watch. You fucking idiot.
Perfect. That's how we like to end.